Mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and damnation. May the experience of happiness be separate from suffering, and the civil away establish them in the state of as perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. O Mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and damnation. May the experience of happiness be separate from suffering and safety. Rabbi still them in the still ones of us, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dala Damvara Sibeda, no Bara Sibeke, Tarba Dam Dam Jen Jembe, Barada Ju Bara Seba, Dam Je Je So Sebe, Manam Ka Dan Yambe, Zenjen Dan Je Dewa Dan De. Dungara dandra nyurda lana me pa yanda para sobe sa jurum boje do para sa. Da santra achieve enlightenment, perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama, the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of Mandala Suyadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Ragas and darkness and the Dhamma guidance, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all its Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of a Bodhisattvas, as the previous Buddhas invested in enlightenment and the progress of the Bodhisattvas path, true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to Bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete the stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge unto enlightenment reached by the merit of Janarastra and other good deeds. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Seven long prayer Tibetan. Tenye se dai so jen je de na de son je ba na ye sing ge ge. Da ge ma le de da dam je la le da na ye da ye sa je. Zang bo je be mo lai do dai ge jar wa dam je ye je mo som de. Chenga denye le ra du ba ye jarwa ken la ra de san se lo. Je de na de nye san je nam san je se je we na yu ba da. Te da ra chi je ye na ma le ba dam je jarwa da ge kang wa. Dai ngao bai me se jam so na yang je yen lai jam so ra ken je jar wa ken je yong de ra ju jen de wa ra je ba dam je da ke me do dam bai chen wa dam ba dai se ye nang dai su ba du jo da marmen chodan dube damba ye jarwa te da la ne chu ba na za damba nam da in jum jo da se me bu ma ra nyam ba da ke ba je ba ma be jo gen je jarwa te da la ne chu ba Yoba gana la me ja je wa de da jar wa dam je la ya me zambo jo la de be do da ge jar wa ken la san sa ren ju ba ra do jai she dan de mo wang ge ne le dan a dan de yin ye ji ja te ba da ge ye ba jin je ba de da dam je da ge so so ro ya So je jarwa igenda sanje se ranger namdan lobdan lodan rowa igenje sona ganla ya te da igenje jisa da ya anai so je je de rome da sanjo para sanje ma ja ni gombo de da ge dam je lan ko lo la na me ba go Yang nian da wa ra yi gen de da la in ro wa gen da bi jen de ve se kar ba xian ge de nie you ba yan da ge da mo ra je so wa san de wa da in jiu jian yao ba da in ji se ye ra in go yen so wa ye ge wa jiong ze da ge jie sa ba dang jie zou be sang jiu zi mo sa ye bi jie zou ye me do zhan ri ra zin ye nie de jian ba de sang jie xian la mei de bu wa ye zhou gen nam dai xian de jie wa re xiu 歌颂永作拉美错南来是南上son的人也进就大雷龙就那谁永夜了拉面条个没肉咋的说上次我答就见小巴答就是也让过去说我也给我就是那个就是吧。tam je zo pe san cho tser ho om gu ru ru na men ra la bun za men ga sa men ra sa wa re sa ma ye a om jam ben je do men zam le je ra pe dong song yong la ja su me jar wa dor je chang pan je de gong pe sha la Te da de sam je ju le mi sin je lo je tu ji ji nian ge men ba san ne jiang sem zhi zhe re de do ba re xin ji lo. Please chant the way of the Dharma of the two words and their combination according to this position, the likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. Sem je nam je sam ba da lo ye se da wa che chong de mong de ba ye chi chong ko lo ko de so page 32 long press to majeshri his wisdom is a better line like the sun free over clouds over two words and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has a compassion for all beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance in the prison of samsara as a father for only son. Like a thunderclap, he wakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma through the 60 branch of Haramane speech. He wears wisdom silver to cut the settling of suffering to dispel the darkness of confusion. In the Bodhisattva form, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. A supplicated human Jeshiri, adorned by the 112 Son of Buddha to dispel darkness of my ignorance. Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana Om Arabazana de 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 Om Arabazana Om Arabazana de Wanga Shoramo, 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 Wanga Shoramo. You who are the perfect, youthful body, full flame of wisdom blessed. and the dispel darkness of all the ignorance. I supplicate you before you and praise you, Majesty. Tamge doje shaje reisen dong yin je me to de je bon jong ba se je len bo ta wa re ji be ge shaje je be ya la so wa de do je jiang je de lo na ro da mar ba me la chi je gang bo ba pa mo re ba ja wa de gong be Kaju lama nala zorwa de rome jije yenje bodang de zom sanje genje ngowo nye ransem jige oson donze pe sawe lame yala zorwa de. Good morning, everyone. Everyone can hear, right? How is the voice? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay, so then we go to the teaching. So stage of meditation, waking the mind. This has chapter 8, so we finish the introduction, and then main body has chapter 8, so we finish how to meditate on 4 thoughts that turn the mind. Then we talked how to meditate on love, how to meditate on compassion. So how to meditate on bodhicitta. The first 4 chapter is a method. So then last 4 chapter is part of wisdom. But some sections also method, wisdom comes together. So mostly just chapter 5 to chapter 8 is for wisdom chapter. So today we are how to meditate on shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation. So this book is page 46. They are talking about how to meditate on shamatha. So shamatha is the automatic bodhicitta, is beyond all constructs. When we share this bodhicitta teaching, so that time we talk about relative truth bodhicitta and absolute truth bodhicitta. So this shamatha meditation is part of the absolute truth bodhicitta. Relative truth bodhicitta, you can receive the vowels from the teacher, and you can comment, you can follow the instruction and just, abandon the non-virtuous, practice virtuous, so follow the instruction. This absolute bodhicitta is you really cannot receive from the teacher to get the vowel or something. So this part is we have to practice and meditate. We have to realize, ourselves, and then called the absolute truth bodhicitta arise in our mind. So usually we talk about 5 parts, and 10 permits. So first part is accumulation part, and second is engaging part. So that too is a part of the relative truth bodhicitta. And absolute truth bodhicitta is starting from first permit bodhisattva realization. So that's the reason in the some teachers teaching, according to Chandakirti, they don't recognize until first permit bodhisattva. They don't recognize until that, who don't have realized first permit bodhisattva. They don't call the bodhisattva. Because that talk about the bodhisattva means who has absolute truth realized. So that is only starting from first permit bodhisattva. So here, right now we're talking about how to meditate on shamatha. So this shamatha is a part of the absolute truth of bodhicitta because it's meditating. So you cause of absolute truth of bodhicitta. We cannot say like who can meditate, everyone is, we cannot say bodhisattva, absolute truth of bodhisattva. But this meditation is causes of absolute truth of bodhisattva. Autonomic bodhicitta is beyond all contract. It is a total clarity. So talking about our mind nature, is total clarity. Only accessible within autonomic truth. So absolute truth bodhisattva citta is only access to through the meditation. If we don't meditate the shamatha vipassana, never ever possible become absolute truth bodhisattva. You can be relative to the bodhisattva because when you receive the bodhisattva vows, become you are bodhisattva. But if we don't meditate, we don't practice, not possible absolute truth bodhisattva. So that's the reason it is a total clarity. So only accessible with autonomic truth. It is undefiled, like the flame of a butter lamp that shines continuously without disturbance of wind. So when we meditate, practice, so no emotion, no thoughts, then your mind is become, clear, and so is stable and peaceful. So that arise from actually causes us this shamatha meditation. If we don't practice shamatha, not possible to remove our thoughts and emotions. If we don't remove thoughts, emotions, then not possible become, realize the autonomic bodhicitta. That's the reason here it is undefiled. So like the flame of a butter lamp, my nature is same as like flame of a butter lamp that shines continuously, always there, without disturbing of wind, so without emotion and thoughts. You can see clearly your mind nature without, if you don't have thoughts and emotions. Long as you have thoughts, emotions, you cannot see your mind nature. Mind nature is always there, so it's clearly, continuously, without like thoughts and emotions. But long as we have thoughts, emotions, we don't recognize. To accomplish this realization of autonomic bodhicitta, so we need to meditate and gain familiarity with the shamatha and the vipassana practice. And we have become realize the absolute truth of bodhisattva. Then we have to meditate the shamatha and the vipassana. So this shamatha vipassana is helps like become remove thoughts, emotions, and no thoughts, no emotions. Then your mind is become clarity and undefined, so continuously always there. So you really recognize. Without this meditation, not possible to recognize our own nature. Then here we're talking about we needed to meditate and gain familiarity. So what means meditation? Meditation means gain familiarity. So we have to use to, we have to habituate with the shamatha and the vipassana practice. Since all samadhi practice are subsumed in these two, so they have so many different kind of meditations. This shamatha vipassana is the actually essence of the meditation or kind of the root meditation. All the different meditations subsumed to these two categories, shamatha and vipassana practice. So all yogis and yoginis should practice shamatha and vipassana, meditate at all times, so that we can have to meditate much ever we can. And if you use to more, you practice more, become you more familiarity, and used to, then it's become easy. So it's everything is like, if we don't use to, it's hard and difficulty. So you used to and you are familiarity, then everything is easy. Nothing is difficulty. So that's we know. So whatever we do in this worldly activity, if you are not used to, it's really hard. Think about when you drive the car first time, not easy. But then you are used to, it's easy. So like that, when you meditate, this is shamatha vipassana. Of course, the beginners is really hard and the difficulty, and then you practice more often and often. Is you are used to, so then it's not difficulty. It's most easiest one is meditation. If you are used to, if you know are used to, then most hardest is the meditation, because our mind is very easily follow the thoughts and follow the object, because when you open eye you can see so many things, so your mind can follow all this object. And even you close your eye, you have thoughts, so you can think about yesterday, you can think about the last year, you can think about childhood, you can think about the future. So mind is never stay and just follow the thoughts. So we already used to that. That's why is meditation's hardest for beginners, not easy. So that's we just have to recognize our own individual, experience. Uh, Here we have 60 people, so some is easy, some is difficulty. So it's dependent individual, because it's depending how used to. If you are really used to meditation, no difficulty. You are beginner, you are not used to, this meditation is the hardest one. Then what we needed to come together for the practice of shamatha. So here in this today, I'm sharing this shamatha meditation. This section is like someone follow the meditate, it goes to the retreat, like kind of 1 week, 1 month. Someone wanted to practice shamatha. So then they needed to find a good location. So these good conditions. Without good conditions, your meditation practice cannot be successful, because due to the conditions and the many become, distractions, obstacles come. That's the reason meditators have to find first important is location. What we needed to come together for practice of shamatha. So you should be in a place that is conducive to practice, have few desires. So we need a few desire. We need something, support for meditation. If you, when you think like, when you're going to meditate, you think, oh, I'm going to meditate, I don't need anything. So that's also incorrect. You need something for support, few desires. It's too much also problem, nothing also problem. So that's why you have to find a balance and not be too overwhelmed with work and activities. So when you're going to retreat, you cannot meditate practice in the busy place. You cannot practice with your family in the living room. Just think about the living room and the TV. Like, where is the TV? Where is the kids? And where is the maybe, you know, your dogs, cat, and these animals with there, and you cannot meditate. So then, of course, you cannot meditate in the very busy place. It's noisy and going on lots of things. That kind is the hardest place to meditate for beginners. Beginners never ever look that kind of place. So if you be like that kind of place, you never ever can go into the meditation. Your mind is always follow these thoughts and follow this, you know, object. That's the reason. So place of practice should be in view. We have to place find like more suit for us according to individual level. In this case, is talking about 100% for beginners. And 100% for beginner meditator, you cannot meditate at just with your family at your home. And you cannot do really in the busy place. So you have to find a quiet place. So then you are used to, it's a little bit different. Or you cannot go to all the way to left your home to somewhere else to meditate. If you don't have that time to do that, but then when you want to meditate, so you can close your door, yeah, you stay inside where you know, bedroom or some maybe you have like Sharan room, something like special room for you. So you have to be in that quiet place yourself, have to meditate. Then if you close to temple Dharma center, you can go into temple and Dharma center. But sometimes the temple Dharma center also more noisy, more distraction. So it's dependent. Here is in this one right now what I'm sharing. This is like for really someone wanted to meditate, going to retreat, and then that kind of person, of course, have to go quiet place, more nature, quiet, no distraction much. So our case, you cannot really go away from your home, but then at your home, you have to create, you know, good condition yourself, less distraction. So you have to commitment yourself, and 1 hour, 2 hour escape from your family. You know, you can go into your some quiet place to meditate and practice. So that's kind of you need commitment. Like actually, you every day like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour commitment yourself. Go to quiet place, find a space, and you meditate. Escape from your distraction from the family. Then the place of practice should be imbued with the 5 qualities. So here talking about 5 quality we need a place 5 qualities. Being a place where food and clothing are easily accessible. So, yeah, see, if you go to somewhere else, like very hard to get food, then that also not great location, because when you get hungry and hunger, you cannot meditate and practice. So then you try to get food. So your whole time is for that, looking for the food. And that's the reason, that's also not great. So you have to location find is easily access your food and clothes, not too far away from the city somewhere. And yourself, you can be far, but you have to think about your food and clothes, everything you have, what you need. Then, and where one is safe and not vulnerable to harm from enemies and harmful energies. So also you have to find the places, the location is like safe place. Safe place is like sometimes the human beings can harm to, for practitioners, because of the robber, enemy or thief, something like, gang people. So it's you have to places like where you meditate and practice, you need safety place. Then of course, like if you go to remote area, this natural disaster, that kind also not affected to you. And so you have to think all these conditions, what you need, safety yourself. This is what is known as automatic location. So then that kind of location you have to find. The location should be one where there are no contagious diseases. So then, see, kind of this time, we have this coronavirus disease. It's like that kind of also easily affected to the meditators. The main point, they shouldn't go that kind of place too. This is what it is known as a good location. If you free from this place, then it's called good location. So you can access with food and clothes and safety, and then you have this, disaster or contest disease not affected to you. So that kind is called good location. So you have to find that kind of location. Then also this location, some area has like negative energy, so it's very hard for meditate for beginners. Then you should escape from negative, energy. Then we needed to find some like Bodhisattvas footsteps, like they went through, like called holy place, holy object. That kind of place you meditate is more powerful and less obstacles. Then one day you are become practitioner, so then everything is changing again. So that means like you no need to go to quiet remote area. You have to meditate and busy, and you have to meditate more difficult place. You can meditate. You have to meditate more negative energy. Where is the negative energy? You have to practice that kind of location. So meditate. That is become like high level meditators find the location is totally different. Here is a Hinayana tradition, Mahayana tradition, location is different. So Hinayana, Theravada tradition for beginners, the remote area is called Gompa. Gompa Tibet usually called the monastery. The monastery Gompa means like remote area. is free, not in the city. You must be far away from the city. So that is called Gompa and monastery. So that is for the beginners, meditation place location you have to find. But according to Mahayana, talk about remote area means, good condition is busy place, opposite of the beginners. And in the city, noisy, negative energies. So that kind of place is for, uh, practice is become your practice meditation is more growing. Your energy you can transform, like become you are more practitioner. So that's the reason its location also actually not always same, because according to the individual level. Once companions or neighbors should be imbued with ethical discipline and share the same view. So then when you go to the retreat and meditate together, someone together, so you have to find friend is the same view, sharing the same view, like wanting to practice meditate and follow the virtuous deeds. Same conduct too, imbue with the ethical discipline. And so have a kind of a same desire, positive desire, same opinion, wanted to spiritual practice, the same opinion. You need that kind of your company. Then displaying and share the same views. This is what is known as good companions. So during the day, there should not be too many people around one. And during the night, there should not be a lot of noisy. So in a conducive practice place such as the one described above. So that kind of, just here sharing, that kind of place you have to find when you're going to retreat for shamatha vipassana meditate. So actually any kind of retreat, you really wanted to go to retreat, you have to find this, five desire or, location perfect companions and location good way to you have to find. Then just our case, many people, you cannot do, cannot go to the monthly from your family and the job. So then you have to find the location at your home. You have to create yourself. So the just according to individual situation. So you have to create yourself. Then so in a conducive practice place such as one desirable above, so you first give rise to highest motivation to place all sentient beings in the state of enlightenment and imbue your mind with a great compassion that longs for all beings to be free from suffering. So you get the location, perfect place, then you have to cultivate mind generation. So love, compassion, bodhicitta before going into the meditation. So we have to take this, motivation. It's all thinking about all sentient beings and the state of enlightenment, and imbue mind with a great compassion that long for all beings to be free from suffering. Then you offer prostration with the 5 branches. So you can use 5 branches practice. And so 5 branches usually offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching. So that part is, 5 branches. You have to cultivate 5 branches, practice to then all Buddhas and Bodhisattva brought out the 10 directions. So that section, usually we just follow the opening prayer. We chant the, refuge prayer, bodhicitta, 7 branch prayer, mandala offerings. So that's is before go into meditate, and we have to practice that. Then also we have the thing when all these 10 directions has Buddha and the Bodhisattvas be with us. So then next make offering and prayers in accordance with your capacity. Offering is also you can have physically or you can mentally offering. Then confess negative actions, so you can confessing it like mentally you're confessing. Also, this 7 branch prayer has confession and rejoice in the merit of all beings. So then on your seat, cross leg in the posture of Elusrias Verochana. So you sit the 7-point posture. First is the main important, not main important, but you have to sit cross leg, put in the kitchen, cushion in the ground, and then you sit down and cross leg. If you physically you cannot cross leg, then you can sit in the chair. So cross leg is good, but if someone cannot do that, that's also okay. Still, you can meditate. If you can cross leg, then when you sit down cross leg, that helps you become habituate cross leg. So when you sit down cross leg, you become used to that, then you can easily go into meditation. If you are not used to, then always hard and difficult. That's why it's first is body training. So now we're going into the meditation. Meditation has 2 tips: mind training and body training. So this first is a body training. Usually our body activity, we don't sit down cross-legged. You don't sit down like this 7-point posture because you always do different postures activity all the time for the body activity. You have that body activity, body habituate. So that's the reason you easily go to follow the body activity. Your mind is easily accessible to follow the thoughts and the emotions. And this is like your change your habituate. So your habituate change to for the spiritual and the meditation. That's why when you sit down cross-legged. So then Verochana, and do not open your eye uncomfortably wide nor close them completely. So that is in here is like talking about the shamatha meditation. So shamatha meditation, especially first part is you focus with the object. You cannot close eye. So that's why here said do not close your eye, but do not open your eyes uncomfortably wide. If you, when you meditate, you open your eye wide, then that affected your eye. You get hurt your eye. So then harder to meditate. So that's the reason your eye contact must have to have a balance. This main point here is cannot be too tight, cannot be too loose, your body. So must be balanced. That's why do not open your eye uncomfortably wide, nor close them completely. You cannot close eye, but your eye is very softly open, get the object. Then your eye can stay like meditate hours, no problem. If you open too wide, it's easily get hurt your eye and harder to meditate. If you close eye, then you cannot focus with the object. Also, you close eye, easily you fall asleep, fogginess, thoughts arise. So that's the reason don't close eye. This section is also is dependent individual, not always the same. Just you have to also choose yourself. Like you have to find like which is better for you. You have to recognize your individual situation. Follow the. So sometimes you need open eye could widely is good. Sometimes close is okay, but generally here, not too wide, not too close, just softly opened object. And then your eye cannot look too far away, cannot too close. You have to look right amount. So if you look too far away, and then of course many objects distracting your mind, it's not good for your meditation. It's so much distracting you get distractions. So if you're too close, then you get fogginess, sleepy, and that's the reason. Generally, this instruction given you is like not too far, not too close, right amount. You have to focus. But then, due to individual level, if your mind is monkey mind, is so much thoughts, and then you have to look very close. Is down the nose. If you are sleepy, fogginess, like when you want to meditate, always you fall asleep, and then your eye contact is you have to look very far away. It's look into the get into the sky. You're more look far away. It's better for you. So that is all is followed by your constitutional individual. You know your uh, followed by your individual situation. Like you have to recognize what you have to do. Then so just let your gaze far at the tip of your nose. So here talking about your eyes down the nose, but not always that case. It's always follow the dependent individual. Your constitution follow. Sit in good posture with your spine straight and your shoulders even. So that is most important. When you meditate, align your spine. You have to straight up. That's actually required for everyone. Like even you sit in the chair, you cannot lay into the chair, on the chair, in the chair or on the chair. So you must straighten up your align spine. Of course, then you cross the leg, sit in the cushion, so you have to align your spine. Then just sit in good posture when your spine straight and your shoulder even. You should not slouch and you should hold your head straight and align from the nose to the navel center. Meaning you sit facing with your body in one direction without shifting. Keep your tongue and your lips naturally and press your tongue gently against your palate behind your front teeth. So usually the tongue touch behind the teeth. Then breathe from the mouth. So that's it's a more deeper meditations required. But shamatha usually, if you can do that, also okay. If you without that, also still you can practice shamatha. But you go into Mahamudra meditation, and then recoil your tongue is touched like behind your teeth, and breathe from the mouth. That change all your kind of like usually your habitual is change. It's hard for the people who don't used to that. But some this Mahamudra teachings, says when you breathe from the mouth, it's called wisdom air. You breathe from the nose, it's called emotion air. And then you breathe from the mouth when you meditate. Come, this breathe is like, I think some reasons like from the mouth breathe is a hit to your heart. So there's a opening up your heart too. So that kind of they talk about qualities when you breathe from the mouth. So that's why you have to practice that. You have to use to press your tongue gently against your palate behind your front teeth. Let your breath be very naturally and spontaneously without even feeling your in breath or your out breath. So this is right now we're sharing the shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation, even your breath is like cannot be too gross level, must be more subtle level, soft. See, that's why let your breath be very natural and spontaneous without even feeling your in breath or your out breath. If you can resting like this way, your mind with breath or focus with the object, then you can recognize, you get your own kind of experience, peaceful. Your mind is abiding. The shamatha is Tibetic called she, ne. She means peaceful, ne means abiding. So mind become peacefully abiding with your breath or with your focal object. That's the reason when you meditate shamatha, so you cannot breathe the same as like when we practice yoga. And you cannot do same as like you usually mindful meditations as like breathing also more gross level. So this is a shamatha breath meditation, is more subtle level after you go into subtle level. So it's hard to you get into subtle level breath. It take longer time you get into that state. When you meditate first, always follow, like mindful gross level. Then that you practice more often or stay longer, then slowly you get into the subtle level. So when your mind is going subtle level, your mind can be with the breath with the subtle levels. So then you really don't recognize you are breathing much, but mind is being there. So that time then you really get meditation experience, kind of like you get test the shamatha. Until that, we don't really get the test of the meditation, like experience. Usually we meditate, talk about shamatha, but it's always kind of like goes follow is mindful part meditation, just gross level. There's someone who can meditate shamatha is perfectly there, come really into subtle level breath. And then you can get own experience, peaceful abiding. So that's why here is spontaneous without even feeling you in breath or your out breath. So someone like look to you is like kind of not breathing, This person is like only body is there, no breathing is just only looks like corpse. Corpse standing or sitting posture like that. You also like your mind is be into really subtle level. You don't really feel your body is there. So that time then you into the shamatha meditation. Then this shamatha meditation is comparing to vipassana is different. So you next time we going in up to vipassana is you understand differences. But without this shamatha, vipassana generation stage, completion stage meditation is actually kind of not possible. That's why shamatha is most important meditation. Good for in this life, of course, good for future life. Even someone only thinking about benefit in this life, so the great is vipassana meditation, shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation really bring the peace and the joy. Mind is kind of more peaceful. So we know, so long as we have thoughts and emotions, especially we have a strong emotions, we are crazy. Just we are become same as a mental problem person, crazy. We usually pointing others is crazy, but long as we have emotions, we are crazy. So long as you are crazy, then of course like your family also crazy. So crazy people together, they not can be always good and harmony, right? So that's why just we have to recognize we also crazy and other also crazy. So what is medicine for good for medicine is shamatha. So shamatha really helps our this life is for become change, transform. And shamatha meditation helps your life is become peaceful and joy, bring benefit in this life. So that's the reason shamatha is not only like someone thinking about Buddhahood, enlightenment. Even someone want happy and joy life in this life, so have to practice shamatha. Then you meditate shamatha, arise love, compassion for others. So see, love meditation, shamatha meditation is go back and forth all the time. We have to practice simultaneously. Otherwise, you say, I'm going to meditate love and compassion. Your mind is not stable. So you thinking about all these beings used to my mother, and the 1 minute is gone. Your mind is not there. So you thinking about something else already. Then see, love meditation is not possible to become successful because like 1 minute you thinking about all beings used to my mother, they recognize all the kindness, but another minute your mind is follow emotion and thoughts. So even you meditate like love, compassion, 1 hour, could be without the shamatha, your meditation is like maybe 5-10 minutes only. They really focus for the love and the compassion. Other 30-40 minutes or is follow the thoughts. So we don't recognize that. We think we did something good, but actually you really look closely how many minutes you really into love and compassion meditate. Could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes if good thing. It's 40-50 minutes is still follow the thoughts. If you don't have a gross level thoughts, but still you follow the subtle level thoughts. And the mind is like kind of like dualistic thoughts, follow the dualistic conceptual. So that's why if you wanted to become successful love meditation, compassion meditation, and of course four thoughts, whatever we other activity meditation, wanted to become successful, we have to cultivate this shamatha. Shamatha brain mind is become peaceful, stable. Your mind is stable, then you can meditate love. So you can meditate compassion. So you cultivate bodhicitta. And as long as you meditate the shamatha, then of course, like think about the yadam deity practice. Yadam deity practice, we have to visualize. Generation stage means so many different layers there, step by step meditations. Think about lotus flower, think about the syllable, leg radius, mantra garland, and thinking about is all the Buddhas in front of us, leg radius, on our home syllable, going to go to pure lane and come from our body, speech, mind, and inviting Buddha from the pure lane to dissolve to us. This all is followed, like visualizing. Uh, Without the shamatha, your mind cannot do that. So it's we can chant the prayer, but mind is actually not really doing that. Your prayer and saying, your mind is not work together. Yeah. So you're saying I'm going to north, but your walking direction is east. So like that. You're chanting the prayer. This all the drawing practice Yadam deities like Buddha Shakyamuni. So this morning we have his body, like that is, and heat to our body and purify our obstacles, increasing our qualities. What speech is chanting that, body is sit down, but mind is somewhere else. So not work together without the shamatha meditation. So that's why it's a shamatha. It's always required. Of course, like have to go back and forth to meditate and you know with other practice. And as long as shamatha is become more stable, your meditation is stable, then every single meditation is become stable. Love meditation is stable, compassion meditation is stable. Then you can generation stage also more stable. Your practice is get more connect with that. Otherwise, like without shamatha, just mind is follow the thoughts, chanting the prayers, thinking about something, wanted to do something, but mind is not there. So we have to recognize, think about that. That's the reason shamatha is, everyone think it's easy, but it's not easy. It's hard, and we have to use to and practice. The begin shamatha meditation practice as follows. So then we have to follow the shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation is good for our heart, our body, and meditator. So shamatha meditators, so less emotion, uh, less anger. See, that's why good for the heart, your heart and your body, and then of course your mind. So shamatha is like say based on all the qualities. So shamatha meditation same as the earth. So same as the farm. Then you can growing vegetables, whatever you want to put in your farm. You can grow soya beans, or you wanted to put barley or rice or other beans, whatever you wanted to plant there. Long as you have a good farm. So like that, long as you have a good shamatha meditation, then you can do whatever you want. Your mind is flexible. So same is your mind is a goal, not just same as the matter like easily broken, and goal you can change, flexible, different ways. So your minds become like that. Long as you meditate shamatha, then the literal meaning of the term shamatha, Tibet is called ne, is peaceful. Here means peaceful. Ne is a burden, referring to resting, peacefully in the state, not convoluted by the busy network of thoughts and concepts. So this Shen is like peaceful abiding, see, referring to resting peacefully in the state, not convoluted by the busy network of thoughts and concepts. So our mind is always busy and network follow the thoughts, concepts. So shamatha is opposite of that. So long as your mind is busy, network, thoughts, so you have that, then you don't have enough practice shamatha. Also, if you have that, so you don't want that, then you have to practice shamatha, right? If you recognize your mind is busy, so much thoughts, so much emotion. If you recognize that, so then you think that is not great. If you want to change that, your mind is you want it to become peaceful abiding, resting peacefully in the state, and not convoluted by busy network thoughts and concepts. If you want that, then you have to meditate shamatha, yeah? So that is it's clearly there. So then what is the problem if our minds follow the, busy network and follow the thoughts? And if our minds are not peacefully abiding, so what is the problem? Problem is we don't have happy and joy. Long as your mind is not peaceful, then your mind is actually opposite of the peaceful, is like your mind is become suffering actually, and not happy and no joy, because due to this, its thoughts and emotions. So that's why shamatha meditation helps remove thoughts, emotions, bring the peace and the joy. So this one is not like talking about, see, religion, something, right? And only for Buddhist practitioner, but every single individual want peace and happy and joy. No one want anger, emotions, thoughts, sad, suffering. So this teaching is sharing the solution, how to find peace and joy. So the Buddha's actually true essence teaching is like that. That is beyond the like Buddhist followers. It's Buddhist teaching, is Buddha's teaching is for solution for, how to say, the solution and the suffering. And the solution for the, mind is so much thoughts, emotions. So no one want the suffering. So then what is the solution if we don't want the suffering ourselves? Solution is this Buddha's teaching. It's a Dharma. So that's why it's a Buddha's teaching is true, like we say true reality, actually, nature of kind of like solution is discovering true solution for the suffering, not something created, like, saying you have to do. If you don't do, I'll give you punish, not like that case, right? If you have to follow me. So this all is a solution for our suffering. That's why this shamatha meditation is most important. Of course, like this bring the inner peace and the happiness. And we recognize so samsara and worldly people and the spiritual path, through the spiritual path is looking different happiness. Samsaric beings looking happiness is object. That's why we never satisfied there. Looking happiness as object, never finished, also endless. So then looking happiness is only temporary, never get true happiness because of looking for the wrong directions. And this teaching, looking happiness is for mind and inner. So it's permanent solution. Also, you get its goal is become you get permanent solution. So free from suffering. Uh, that's why it's see this bring the inner peace and happiness. Someone who meditate shamatha, and that person will become, peace, always joy. These are some samsaric things never distract for them. The person is become perfect. Uh, so then samsaric this object, samsaric sufferings never affected for them because due to this practice. So that's why the spiritual path looking happiness and worldly people looking happiness is different, opposite. Main point is Buddha teaching looking happiness is looking for permanent solution. Worldly people, beings, actually everyone want happiness, looking happiness, chasing happiness is only forget, temporary, but causes of suffering. Mm, so now, there are two kinds of shamatha, meditation with reference point and meditation beyond reference point. The first kind of meditation with a focal object can be divided into two categories. So this shamatha will follow the two categories, meditation with a visual object and meditation without a visual object. So visual object without a visual object. Visual object has two things like focus with the object, focus with the breath. So then meditation without a visual object is we don't use like object and something object front of us, no focus that object, no focus for breath, and just then be mind peacefully abiding. So for the meditation with visual objects, you use something as an object of focus, but not too light color. Light color is not good for eyes, so that's the reason not light color. Place your intention on that object without diverting it and get penetrately at the object. Rest in your mind as long as you can in that very vividly, clearly emptiness. So shamatha meditation, we need support. First, this is called support. Visual object is a support. So support is for beginners, meditators, and who don't have kind of a independently, without support, someone cannot meditate independently. So they need support. So that's why we need some visual object, visual focal object. And then it's easy actually, long as you know how to do this meditation. It's not that difficult, very easy. You get something in front of you, so then your just mind resting with that object. When you focus with the object, your get eye is very softly open, mind resting with that object. So that helps you because your mind is be with that. Otherwise, your mind is go all over the place, thoughts. Without that, visual object or support. So when you meditate, you need two things: mindful and focal visual object. These two things. So we have to think about our mind is crazy monkey. So you want to subdue the crazy monkey, you need rope and you need pillar, two things. And without that, you cannot hold crazy monkey. If you cannot hold your crazy monkey, then you cannot subdue monkey, destroy everything at your home because he crazy. Monkey is crazy. So think about at your home has lots treasure object is easily broken, hit each other. So your home has crazy monkey, then what do you have to do? You have a pillar there, you have a rope there. If you don't tie the monkey in the pillar, then you are crazy become. Right? You have that method, but you're not doing. Then you lose all your treasure things because the monkey going to destroy everything. Crazy monkey going to destroy everything. You don't want that, right? So you don't want that. You want to keep your treasure object things. Then you have to subdue the crazy monkey. So pillar is the same as focal object. Yeah. So then rope is the same as your mindful. And monkey have to tie in the pillar. Use the rope. So without a pillar, you cannot tie to monkey like that. Your mind can without its focal object, you cannot rest in mind because it's crazy. Mind is crazy. So that's why we need focus object. Object is the same as a pillar. And then you need rope. Is that means like you can tie the monkey in the pillar. So same is like our mindful. You have to recognize mind is really be within the focus object. If you lose, bring back right away focus object. So mindful is watching your mind, focus with the object. If you lose, you bring back right away. So then you do that. Monkey is tied in the pillar, so he cannot run any place. He cannot destroy this special object. So you have become your object is safe. Like that, and your mind is focused with the object, your mindful, tight with your object, not let go any place. Then crazy mind cannot follow the thoughts, cannot follow the emotions, cannot bring the emotions. So your mind cannot follow the thoughts, so your mind cannot bring the emotion. Then you are become peace. You are not suffering. You are joy. So you can keep your treasure is your joy and peace. So otherwise, your crazy mind destroy your happy and joy. It's your treasure is that destroying. Truly, your treasure, peace and joy, the crazy your mind destroy. That's why you have to subdue your crazy mind. Use pillar and rope, subdue the monkey like that. You have to focus with the object and use mindful. We have to subdue our crazy mind. So then you resting mind is not enough like couple of minutes. Truly, you have to stay longer, much ever you can. You have to use to practice often and often. So then one day, no ropes, no pillar, monkey just subdued. He can stay calm and not going to destroy all this your special treasure object like that. Without your object focus object, your mind become peace. So that means your mind is really subdued. And tomorrow I can share with you the elephant. Example. I have the PowerPoint, so I can share with you short through the screen here. And so your mind subdued, then you control your mind. So you can find treasure from your own mind. So it's peace and joy is come from your mind. So that we have to create ourselves. So that's why we have to practice and put effort. Meditate. You have to use to. So when you focus with the object, 1 minute, 2 minutes, not enough. You have to focus often and often. So also the beginner meditators, they talk about many short sections, many short sections, and of course have to do many times. Then you are become used to. You can be long sections, okay, but beginners must be short sections. Practice. Like you're going to meditate like 1 hour, so you have to break like 5 minutes or 5 minutes. Meditate 5 minutes, like you put effort and you create yourself kind of commitment. I'm not going to follow the thoughts, take yourself like commitment and put effort. 5 minutes, your crazy mind subdued, in the focus with the object. Then 5 minutes after, you can breathe yourself and you can think about, oh, 5 minutes is I'm successful, or 5 minutes is like maybe 2 minutes is I lost. So 3 minutes, okay, you have to think about yourself and you don't get up from your cushion. So you have to go back to again another 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, you have to think about, okay, successful or not. So you go back to another 5 minutes. That way, you have to go all the way up to like hour to practice like short sections. That helps, your uh, meditation practice is really affected your mind because no wasting your time. Otherwise, you want to meditate, but you just sometimes cultivate the thoughts. So that's happening for everyone. So when you meditate, sit down, thoughts arise. More thoughts comes when you sit down. Yeah. When you do something, you forget everything. Especially when you do with other people, maybe play games, and in the busy place, you talking with the people and watching the TV, you forget everything. So you not solve the problem, but you forget temporarily. But when you meditate, when you sit down, then everything's come out clearly. So then you think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. Then you thinking about the past, you thinking about the future. So all the thoughts is like come there. Uh, so forgetting because your mind is like come to the meditative peace, like in the present. Then all these thoughts come to you. When you play a game and you forget everything. So that's why I see some people has problems, difficulties. They want to forget, and they wanted to watch the TV movie, and they play the game or do something. They just temporarily forget. When they finish it, never ever solve the problem. Problem is there, maybe more bigger problem. It's there, but meditation solve the problem is you can remove permanently, but not easy that for the mostly people. Mostly people just need like right, no, I need solution, right? So forget, you don't want to think about, then what you have to do, you do something finding like, you know focus, I mean the like watch movie or something like that, you forget temporarily, but finish, come back problem, no solve problem, temporarily forget. So same is like that, listening music and dance, whatever your activities, worldly things, joy, things that temporarily your problems forget. But when you finish it, that come back everything again. So when you have that kind of problem, you really want to solve that problem permanently. not only today problem, you solve today problem, you have another problem tomorrow. You solve tomorrow problem, next month problem, next month problem you solve next year, maybe all the way go to people think about the next life problem in the Pardo problem. So this problem you want to solve this problem, then we have to meditate shamatha. This meditation helps solve the permanently all these problems. So when you meditate, all thoughts come to you because you not forgetting. So then that's the reason you need focal object for meditate. That's the reason you need put effort. Especially beginner meditators put effort and more tightness. Tight up. You have to put effort. It's called the preparation. It's need more strong. I want to do. Your commitment preparation need strong and tight up, focus, meditate. So when you are into meditation, you need more relax become. You have to come relax. And then you have to do short term. That helps because like if you follow the thoughts, only you wasting 5 minutes. So 5 minutes after you can think about I did it all correct or not. If you don't do correct, you have to put effort again, practice. So that's why uh, in the meditation instruction requires beginners short term and more effort, tight up. Then you are more used to meditation. You can be, more relaxed and more balanced, and you can increase in time, longer time. You don't have to do short term. So that's also dependent for individual. Then you focus with the object often and often. Your mind resting with the objects. Mind is easily be with the object. When your mind is with the object, peaceful because it's present. Your mind is not follow the past, future. Your mind is be focused with the object. Is your mind is become present. Your mind is present, then no follow the thoughts. Long as your mind is no follow the thoughts, so your mind is resting. When your mind is resting, then you are become peace. So you have to practice used to that often and often. Then if you used to like see, we can change it to like walking meditation. You walk, you have mindful, and you focus with your footsteps, or you can focus with your movement, mind resting with that, your focus with your body, or you can focus with your breath. Your mind is always present. So until that, we have to put effort to meditate. You have to use to like cultivate again and again. So you are used to then, you know, every every situation you can practice and meditate. When you sit down, you can see the object. You right away focus with the object. 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Even you go restaurant, also you sit down in the restaurant, you can focus easily object there too. Focusing, resting mind, meditate, and cooking meditation, walking meditation, and diving. Even you dive the car, you're mindful and peacefully. You're diving, and it's different. So that's why first step is in difficulty for beginners, very difficulty. We have to use to get in that level very hard. So that's why we use this focal object. Visual object is support. So for the meditation with visual object, you use something as an object of focus, but not like light color. Place your intention on that object without diverting it and gaze penetratingly at the object. Resting your mind as long as you can in that very vividly clarity emptiness. If your mind does not want to stare and a thought suddenly comes up, instantly recognize the thought. So when your mind is peacefully abiding, then you really can see your mind too. Your mind is empty, kind of. Your body, your mind is not really, exist. So you can feel that vividly, clearly emptiness. Shamatha meditation also then recognize emptiness. So long as you meditate shamatha, you recognize emptiness. If your mind does not want to stay still and the thought suddenly comes up, then we have to recognize, oh, I have thoughts. So go back to meditate again. Shamatha meditation is more effort. It's I don't want thoughts. So when you meditate, you put effort. When thoughts comes, stop the thoughts. Right away, stop the thoughts and go back to focus with the object. As soon as you recognize it, immediately cut through and go right back to placing your intention directly on the object of focus, keeping your awareness there. So your mind is present, keep your awareness there. Let your mind be in its natural state without getting convoluted by conceptual thoughts, such as the focal object is taken inside by my mind, or my mind is taken outside by the focal object, or mind and the focal object are one or separate, and so forth. So we have to think about this when you meditate. I mean, let go all these thoughts first. Sometimes you can do this analytically, but right now we're talking about the shamatha, focus with the object. So you cannot use analyze. The object is come from my mind or not, or object my mind is the same or separate. Like that kind you analyze, then it's thoughts. So that's why just object is use focus, don't analyze. And that's why color for object is not really great. Because when you see color for your mind is thinking about, oh yeah, this is red color, this is a green color, this is something else. Your mind easily investigating this object. Uh, that's why it's good is for use crystal something like, and usually people carry like meditators small size of the crystal, and when they sit down and put in front of the table and focus with the crystal. So this crystal object is not only also shamatha, it really helps for recognize true nature mind. Also, Mahamudra Dzogchen also require crystal. So this is a representative our mind, clear, empty, is there. So the used to this one is the most kind of symbolize mind nature, but no, due to the technology, we can use many different things. Okay, so then it is certainly acceptable to use in image of the Tathagata, Buddha, Shakyamuni, or the lake as your visual object. And see, this I usually when share this shamatha say visual object is like regular object and a special object too. So regular object is for everyone. You don't, even the person is not spiritual, follow the spiritual, only thinking about benefit this, their life. Wanted to be peaceful with harmony with the family. So something like harmony with the co-workers, and it's the just wanted to change the life. So someone that don't have really spiritual, then that person we can share this, ordinary object, no special object. So special object is for the someone who follow spiritual and who has a devotion. So then they can use a spiritual special object. object is special or not special also actually due to the devotion. Long as you have a devotion, then you have a special object. If you don't have a devotion, you don't have a special object. Main point is. So if without devotion, then you see the Buddha's statue behind us like that kind, but it's just regular object and kind of like just somebody's, body created by the matters. So there's no any connect with that, no feelings. And become Buddha's statue is a regular object for them. So who has devotion, then Buddha's statue, tankas, this all is called special object. So our case, we are follow the spiritual. You can use the image of the Buddha and the tankas. That's also good too. So when you use that, it's a shamatha with the kind of generation together. It's simultaneously we practicing. So focus with the special object, mind resting with the special object. We cannot analyze. Oh, Buddha has a curly hair, and then you think about his nose is really beautiful, eye is really bright, or his eye is great. You think that is then that is incorrect. Not you doing meditation. So you just seeing image whole thing, but mind resting. And when you have devotion, you see this image Buddha, and kind of feeling is different. It's joyful. It's long as you have a devotion, so that is a special feel. I mean the positive feeling. So positive feeling is a devotion that is antidote to negative feeling. Then if you have like something difficult in your life, negative thoughts and feelings, emotions, so you use a special object with devotion. This special object or positive feeling, I mean the positive feeling devotion antidote to negative feeling, remove negative feeling. So that's why our case, long as we have devotion, so we can use the special object. You can see the whole Buddha's image and mind resting with that. So then we can Tara image. You can focus mind and meditate. So it's bring the for it's devotion, that long as devotion arises, it comes more strong power. It's peaceful, become joy. So that's why it's here. It's certainly acceptable to use an image of the Tathagata Buddha Shakyamuni on the lake as your visual object. When the mind becomes unclear or cloudy and so forth, such an image is very helpful. So then Buddha image, Tara, like special object, is really helpful when your mind is your mind is become unclear or cloud, fogginess and sadness. So that's image has power, so help you become clear for that. Then when you visualizing the deity appearance in all its vividly presence, do not get convoluted with concepts about the deity's body, color, or implement. Then this way or that way. See, if you load the tanka and then you're thinking about, oh, tanka, this tanka is gold painting, or this tanka is really good, looking, and the colors like your hand and heads. You go all the details thinking about, then using correctly object. So become object is a distraction. So then you change the object. Don't focus that object. So maybe go back to regular object. If your visualize is clear or unclear or anything, just make it easy and simply place your mind directly on the deity's body and let your awareness simply rest there without wandering off. So mind resting with the deity's image, resting. So then long as devotion arises, so that object is become special object is more powerful than regular object. So you can use that special object. So two different kind of object, regular object, special objects. So the regular object, special object is dependent on our individual. Just long as you have a devotion, then you have a tanka and the statues. It's always a special object. Then when you share shamatha meditation for someone, so someone who don't have a religion, so they're kind of, people need help, some really extremely suffering. They're looking something solution, but they don't want to follow the religion. They're really scared and nervous with religion. So then never ever talk about the special object, okay, for them. So you can share with them regular object, okay. So you have to really recognize that person's situation. That person never ever wanted to hear religion. They don't want to go into that step because due to the lack of knowledge and ignorance. Then due to the karma, they don't have the capacity. So that's why we need to have that kind of people because it's extremely some people like that suffering, extremely suffering, anger, and emotion. Then due to that have problem with their own family, problem with the co-workers, problem with the other society everywhere. That's create problems. So that kind of person really suffering and they don't want religions. Then you can share with them something you wanted to help them. Just only talk about regular object. Help them, then you don't have to talk about anything like, okay, this is something religion, right? Otherwise they don't want to use. So you can use a method, regular object, and can help them to practice. So then that person practice long as regular object mind resting, focusing, using this shamatha meditation practice, they can change their life. They can change because this shamatha meditation is solution for the emotion. So they need that because their suffering is due to the emotion, due to ignorance. They don't want to hear about religion. So then you want to help them, you can use this regular object. Okay, so then place your mind directly on the deity body and let your awareness simply rest there without wandering off. That is the focus with the object. The second category is shamatha that has a focal object but not a tangible visual object. Tangible visual object. This category has two further subcategories: meditating with a focus on the breath and meditating without focus on the breath. The first subcategory refers to keeping one's intention on the in the breath, the out breath, and the moment between inhalation and exhalation. However, do not get caught up in thinking that this is the in breath or no, I am exhale, and so forth. Simply use the breath as point of reference to another your awareness and rest in it as long as possible. So this is focus with the breath. Uh, so focus with the breath uh, is good for like also some individually they don't know how to meditate shamatha. They need something support, but then breath is always there. So 24 hours we have a breath. So breath is you have that. You don't need to find somewhere else. You don't have to buy your breath, right? It's everyone can afford. Everyone has, and then your breath is always present. You cannot breathe yesterday. You cannot breathe tomorrow, right? You cannot breathe past. You cannot breathe future. The main point, your breath is always present. So then, what is meditation? What is meditation benefit? So why we have to meditate? Because our minds follow the past, our minds follow the future, not be present. That's why we have to meditate. Then what is the good, conduct or cause like helps you support is our breath because its breath is always present. So then your mind resting with breath, your mind is present. Yeah. So your mind is not follow the past, then follow the future because as long as your mind be with your own breath. The reason is you cannot breathe past, you cannot breathe future. Your breath is always present. So that breath is always you have. So wherever you go, so whatever you're doing, you have breath. So that breath is your support, your meditation. Uh, then we have a body, we have a mind, we have a breath. So these three is usually not together. These three of them is separate, no connections. So long as your mind, your breath, your body, no connections, then you have this all the feeling sad, emotions, follow the thoughts, all the difficulties facing to the problem and the suffering. Spiritually, your mind, body, breath is not connecting. You have obstacles. So then this spirits or other, like we said, that they also can harm for us because of when mind, breath, and the body not together. So during that time, this all obstacle is can harm to us, like penetrated for us. Something that can become the object of the obstacle. Uh, so many spiritual master teachers are, there's usually share, don't lose mind, obstacle come, you know, and especially when they get difficulty, like say when you meditate and uh, the negative place, when they meditate practice, they don't lose the mind because they're really focused meditating. The reason is their control. They can control energy, and they control their own energy. They control outer energy too, because the brain, mind, breath, all this body is connecting together. Then cannot obstacle, cannot affected to them. So that is a spiritual way. Like many masters usually share the student, don't lose mindful. You know, if your mind's thinking about the past, future, then obstacle come in. So they must be always present. That's a spiritual way, but also worldly, if your mind, body not connecting together, you no healthy. And you no peace, you no joy, no suffering. You mean point is you're suffering. Because you follow the thoughts and the emotions all the time. You don't recognize even also yourself. So you don't recognize what you're doing too. You lose yourself. So your mind is not with you. Your breath is not with you. Your body all separate. You don't recognize yourself. So you are just lost yourself in point. Then this breath, see, connecting with your body, your mind, your breath, then present. All three of them is present, connecting together. So the bring your energy, your body's energy. So then that bring your healthy, like all the like long life, like we talk about what wetter, like what is it, the long life something wetter essence or something. So that's all energy is also bring that time. Because your body, mind, breathe all connecting, meditate, bring together an energy. So if you're not connecting together, then you losing your energies too. Everything you losing. So that's why focus with the breath is very important. So that object is always we have. Doesn't matter you are in the bed, you are in the car, you are sitting in the office, you are walking on the forest, you are walking in the city, you are in the restaurant, doesn't matter where you are, what are you doing. You always have a breath, you always have a support. So long as you have a mindful, you can focus with like your breath, right? And then this shamatha meditation, I just already talked to you beginning. Focus with the breath is not gross level talking about. Have to go very, very subtle level. Otherwise, you cannot feel. You don't feeling of this shamatha meditation quality. You don't get the taste of meditation. Like kind of like when you eat food, you really mind be there, and then you get food taste. Your tongue, you can really recognize food taste. Yeah, if you're talking with someone and then eating, and your mind know that you don't feel food taste too. So like that, when your mind is really subtle level in breath, connecting with the mind, be with the breath, then you can recognize peace for joy. And the this shamatha meditation is experience arise. You can get your own experience. So not gross level experience, like you have to focus with subtle level breath. Then subtle level breath is when you have anger emotions, you cannot be go subtle level breath because you have gross level. Your mind, everything not ready there. So take time, come to go into subtle level. Connect with your mind and breathe. So then you go into subtle level mind and breath connecting, so you get experience shamatha meditation. So that is the second part of this shamatha for focus with the breath. So long as you focus with the breath, then your mind is always present. So you can release thoughts and emotions. So long as your mind is be with the breath, then your mind, body, or breathe always together, connecting together. So body, the breath really helps your mind and the body be together. Breathing is connect you, body and mind together. Then you recognize yourself. You're not lost. So you recognize yourself. Then you recognize what you're doing. Then you really recognize your own subtle level connections too. So that's the come from the benefit come from the focus with breath. Okay, so today we can leave there and finish shamatha some sections, so we can go continue tomorrow. And also I'm going to share with you tomorrow the elephant. The PowerPoint I have there somewhere. It's beautiful. So that give you the idea how to we subdued our crazy mind. Okay, thank you everyone, and go to the dedication first before we discussion. This Deity Yoga Sadhana 157. Dorje Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dharma Lord Gamboba, Pamotopa, and Lord Digompa. Please bestow upon us the most auspicious bliss of all the Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience, by defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who traverse on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn may they rise, where it is born may not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities are far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri Vero realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddhas who attain the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma exercise, by the blessing of the invisible Sangha order, may the merit I bear share bear fruit. By the virtue collected in three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the inner rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of Guru Digompa Rana Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue to increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the samsara. Yes, so no. Any questions you have?
Kambula, I have a question. Can I ask? May I
Yes,
ask?
you can ask. Yes, please.
When you
I'll
were
take over
talking
this. Then everyone can hear.
Yeah, when you were talking about forethought, you said that it was like eating breakfast. Every day you have to eat breakfast. So every day you have to practice and thinking about the forethought. But to me, I feel that how can you think it naturally? Because forethought is a big thing. It's like if you eat breakfast, you have oatmeal, like toast, orange juice, and everything there. You can't eat that much breakfast. So can we use the forethought like today I'm contemplating about impermanence, and then tomorrow I'm contemplating about the defect of samsara, and then the karma, and then the precious human body, because just one single topic can take forever. Just contemplate about the cause and effect, the karma, and sometimes it's just like too much. So can we divide the four thought into every day one thought, or we have to finish four thought in one day, every day?
Lama, yeah, you can do 4 thoughts meditation, one session, 4 of them together. Yeah, so you cultivate a couple minutes each one. And
just a couple minutes is enough. You don't have to go really elaborate.
Or dependent, if you wanted to go to retreat, then every day, practice 4 of them. Just a couple hours each one.
Wow. because like just think about the karmic, the cause and effect can take forever. Just think about, oh, I do this and will have this bad result, or because of this, so because of that, and that will be like unfinished, infinitive, almost. So I just thought, is this just a practice for formality, or you really go to the deeper level to really understand every day have different kind of a take on about the precious human body, and it's really profound. So I just don't know how much time I should devote it into each one.
So much ever you can.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you say that it's like breakfast, so you every day you have to think about it.
Yeah, if you can think every day, it's great.
Okay.
And
Thank you, Kambula.
Shamatha meditation, you can beginning the cultivate 4 thoughts and then go into shamatha, yeah?
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so then
Thank you so much.
next, you're welcome, Lame. Melissa has a question.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. Just a quick question. Are you going at some point to talk about the mind as the object of meditation? The mind itself?
Can you say again?
Are you going to talk about the mind itself as the object of meditation?
Mind itself is object of meditation.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Some teachers have talked about that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's okay. We can say that is in the Vipassana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
Thank you.
Vipassana.
Okay.
So no questions, right? Everyone okay? Very quiet. So it's easy. Shamatha is easy for everyone. Okay, so then thanks everyone, and see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Kambula.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.